Apple and Microsoft and Facebook
Is
and Coca-Cola.
Apple a tax cheat?
I wouldn't say tax cheat. I think that's putting it too strongly.
then-
and I didn't use that word.
Then who are they?
But I think they are crossing the legal lines that have been set by Congress and by the IRS in the relevant regulations.
I'm
and
confused.
because the IRS is outgunned, they're not able to enforce the law against them.
Let me start over. Do you believe that there are major American corporations cheating on their taxes?
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm breaking down one of the most tense moments in recent Senate hearings, when Senator John Kennedy grilled Miss Mellon about corporate taxes. If you love political showdowns, you're in for a treat. So,
Ms. Mellon, is your expertise in the area, Mr. Bunn made this distinction, is your expertise in the area of tax avoidance or tax evasion or both?
I would say both. I think the lines, there are situations where the lines might get blurry, especially on the corporate side. But in my...
It's both.
It's both. In short, it's both.
Do you believe that there are major American corporations that are cheating on their taxes?
I think yes, there are cases where the transfer pricing regulations are not being followed, and Mr. Curtis's testimony speaks to that.
Who are they? Who are the five? Name the five American corporations that are the biggest tax cheats.
Well, this is a question for the IRS. It's their job to enforce the laws. So I wouldn't.
But that's a pretty serious allegation you made there, and I'm just asking you who they are.
There are cases pending against a number of companies until those cases conclude. It's not.
Who do you think they are? You're an expert in this area. I'm just asking you. You talked a lot, and I've read some of your writings about American corporations cheating on their taxes. I'm just asking you who they are.
I wouldn't use the word cheating. I think that they are taking advantage of the gray zone.
You used it in your testimony.
I'm sorry?
You used it in your testimony. I'm not trying to trick you. I just want to know you have been very vociferous in saying that American companies are cheating. Okay, that's America. You're entitled to your opinion, but you're an expert, and just tell me who they are.
I stand by that. I think that there is evidence to suggest that some of these companies and the IRS has pursued cases against a number of the companies that Mr. Curtis has analyzed, including Apple and Microsoft and Facebook and Coca-Cola.
Is Apple a tax cheat?
I wouldn't say tax cheat. I think that's putting it too strongly, and I didn't use that word.
Then who are they?
I wouldn't say tax cheats, but I think they are crossing the legal lines that have been set by Congress and by the IRS in the relevant regulations. And because the IRS is outgunned, they're not able to enforce the law against them.
Let me start over. Do you believe that there are major American corporations cheating on their taxes?
I believe they are coming very close to crossing the line, and it's difficult for IRS that is outgunned to enforce the line.
Are they crossing the line or not?
Well, it's up to the IRS to enforce the line if they don't have the resources.
I'm asking you your opinion. You're an expert.
I think there's a good case to be made that, yes, they are crossing the line.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Who are they?
That's up to the courts and the IRS to determine.
You made this allegation, but you don't want to say who they are? If you know who they are, you just don't want to tell us.
I think that's been explained by Mr. Curtis in his analysis.
I'm asking you to explain. You talk about tax cheats. I'm just asking you who they are, and you don't want to tell us?
It's again, I think it's for the IRS to enforce the line, and we need to make sure that the IRS is properly...
Well, do you have a list of these tax sheets?
No.
Okay. Have you been to the IRS and said, here are these companies and they're cheating on their taxes and I can show you how they're doing it?
No, I'm not. That's not I've never practiced in that area of law. I'm not a tax whistleblower lawyer.
All you've done is run around saying American companies are cheating on their taxes. I can't tell you who they are, and I haven't been to the IRS to show my data to the IRS, but I want you to believe me that they're cheating on their taxes. Is that your testimony today?
No, Senator, no.
Sure sounds like it.
I think that the case against some of these companies has been well documented in the
Which companies? Let me
in the
ask you one,
public.
because I'm going to run out of time.
So picture this. Senator Kennedy leans in and asks Miss Mellon point blank, "Are you an expert in tax avoidance or tax evasion?" She says, "Both." Right away, you know things are about to get heated. She explains that, for big corporations, the line between legally avoiding taxes and illegally evading them is thin, sometimes almost invisible. Kennedy doesn't let up. He asks, "Are major U.S. corporations cheating on their taxes?" Miss Mellon admits, "Yeah, some companies get really close to crossing the line, especially with tricky stuff like transfer pricing." But she stops short of calling them outright cheats. She says, "That's for the IRS to decide." Kennedy's not satisfied. He goes for specifics. "Name the top 5 corporate tax cheats." Miss Mellon refuses. She keeps saying that's the IRS's job. Kennedy reminds her, she used the word cheating in her own testimony. She tries to walk it back, saying maybe crossing the line is a better term. But Kennedy's relentless. He wants names. Finally, some big names come up. Apple, Microsoft, Facebook. But Miss Mellon still won't label them as cheats. She argues the IRS is underfunded and outgunned, making enforcement tough. Kennedy's not buying it. He fires back, "If you have evidence, why not take it to the IRS directly?" The exchange ends with Kennedy basically questioning her credibility. He says, "If you're going to accuse major corporations of cheating, but can't give names or proof, your testimony doesn't hold up." And with a classic Kennedy mic drop, he says, "Talk's cheap." So here's my question for you. Was Miss Mellon right to play it safe, or should she have named names and stood her ground? This whole exchange shows just how messy and dramatic corporate taxes can get in America. Let me know what you think in the comments. And hey, if you love breakdowns like this, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.